Speaking of Tesla, actually, we talked about Cybertruck. This video came out. We investigated Tesla's autopilot. It's scarier than you think. I don't know too much about Tesla autopilot, but it just came out. 600K views, it's 9 minutes long. Let's watch it. Let's see what they think makes it scary. I haven't heard, outside of day one where they had some weird issues. I don't think anyone died, but there was weird issues. I haven't heard more, so let's see.
For nearly a decade, Tesla promised self-driving cars.
Next year, by the end of the year, probably around, I don't know, second quarter of next year.
This summer, we got to see what they actually look like.
Might want to dial back your expectation.
One customer capturing footage of a left turn gone wrong, and others traveling in cars exceeding posted speed limits.
On a scale of kindergarten through 12th grade, the pilot tests that they're running are like first or second grade.
I have seen that video of it doing the wrong turn. That was like the one big example on day one. However, I want my robot self-driving car to exceed the speed limit. Okay, I want it to have a little fucking grip it and rip it attitude. I don't want a pussy driver. I don't want a driver that's gonna like, I'm just gonna go 15 in the school zone. I want to get there. I want to get there is what I'm saying. I want to get there on time, ideally. I'm already late to meeting stands for basketball. I can't be later. Yeah, I want MKBHD edition. I want a button I can press where it knows how to feed a little speed to the ride. And ideally, it's a win-win for me because if there is an accident, it's really the fault of Tesla and their software, not of me. So it's actually it's a double win. As long as I'm protected of legal liability, you should go as fast as you inhumanly can.
But here's what's scarier. While Tesla was failing to deliver that promise, they sold versions of that technology to hundreds of thousands of people.
Let's see how it works.
They called it
And we are turning.
autopilot and full self-driving.
Oh dear Jesus!
This gambit made Tesla one of the most valuable companies in the world. But the gap between promise and reality has consequences.
A driver using the electric car maker's autopilot system died after crashing into a highway barrier last month.
People believed Tesla when the company called it self-driving. They crashed into fire trucks, concrete barriers, parked cars. Federal investigators tied hundreds of crashes and 14 deaths to the technology. They said Tesla's marketing misled people about what the cars could actually do. Now, one lawsuit by a single state agency.
I mean, not even just the marketing, the name. If you call it autopilot, people expect it to automatically pilot. When you call it full self-driving, people assume it will fully self-drive. It's not full self-driving plus a human has to be. Yeah, if you call it cruise control, that makes more sense. Cruise control is like a different promise.
The lawsuit claims Elon Musk's company is misleading customers about the car's self-driving capabilities.
If Tesla loses this case, they're going to get walloped with a whole bunch of more legal actions against them.
This is how Tesla made millions of people test subjects for an unfinished technology, and how one lawsuit may be the beginning of the end.
You want to have a great sports car that you'd buy even if it wasn't electric.
The excitement surrounding Tesla's release is almost electric.
To understand how Tesla's entire future now hangs on technology they may not actually have, you need to know how this thing all started.
Okay, guys, if you're fed up with paying high gas prices, why not pull the plug?
Before Tesla, electric cars were boring.
Is this a Chevy Volt?
After, they were cooler than a Porsche. But that made Tesla just a car company. Musk wanted more. He wanted a network of self-driving cars.
That's really the difference between Tesla being worth a lot of money and being
yeah,
worth
it's in my video too, okay?
Tesla didn't yet have the technology. So Tesla made a bet. While other companies tested this stuff in controlled environments, Tesla sold early versions of it to customers, calling it autopilot and full self-driving. Wall Street loved it.
Tesla's reached escape velocity. Given autonomous driving, we think that in the next 5 years, the stock could actually go to 4,000.
But other companies started catching up.
What year was that?
Tesla decided everyone else was wrong about how to build.
What year did she say that? What an absurd fucking claim. This is right now. $395. Jesus Christ.
They decided they could do it cheaper and better. And that's where this whole thing goes sideways.
What Tesla is doing with this single sensor flies in the face of what you are going to be taught at every university with a robotics program.
The fucking B-roll of her walking out of the bathroom.
What you are...
This is Missy Cummings. She's a former fighter pilot who now runs the autonomous robotics lab at George
She uses the bathroom like you and me.
Why would Tesla choose such a risky approach? Well, to get that, first look at what they were betting against. I asked Missy about Waymo, the industry leader.
You know, the big difference is this huge LiDAR contraption on the top. It uses this sensor to build that world model.
You know what's funny is I think the top of the Waymo with the LiDAR on it, it makes me feel safe even if I don't know how the technology works. So what I think Tesla should do is not spend a bunch of money getting all this radar shit. They should make a plastic fake one and put it on the top of Teslas so that when I get in, I'm like, okay, I feel safe. There's clearly a lot going on. There's clearly lights and sound, like things are happening that makes me feel, I want to feel safe. I don't, because then you can keep the costs underneath Waymos. It's ugly though. The thing is, I think it being ugly actually helps the customer feel safe. It's like, you guys know how Red Bull could make Red Bulls taste better, but when they tried that, they thought customers didn't think it was actually giving them energy. Red Bull specifically makes Red Bull taste worse because people think, oh, it's giving me energy because it has to taste like this in order to have the energy chemicals in it. People get a better fucking feeling out of it. So I think it's the same with Waymo. The fact that it has this ugly stuff on it makes you think, okay, the only reason that would be there is because it's for my safety.
I asked Missy about Waymo, the industry leader.
I started playing Fast Play from the Hoosier Lottery. It's quick, easy, and starts at $1, unlike your latest hobby of the week.
Take a Fast Play ticket, please.
Hoosier Lottery, champions of play.
You know, the big difference is this huge LiDAR contraption on the top. It uses this sensor to build that world model using laser beams.
These laser beams are incredibly precise, but they can't see very far. That's where radar comes in.
What you can't really see, there is a radar here.
Radar's not as precise, but it sees far away. It gives the big picture that lasers can't. And then there are cameras that pull everything together.
These are the basically 3 sets of sensors that you would need to drive this car in a self-driving mode.
Every major self-driving.
Have I told the story about how I always wanted to write a movie about, write a movie about car thieves set in like 2046. It's always been my dream. Future heist. Yeah, I have told this thing. And they use, like, for example, like they draw a white circle around a car so they think it's traffic lines and they can't move, and they use it to like loot the car. I think that'd be so sick. Like it's all these different tricks, or like you have a radar jammer and you're driving through the fucking thing and it makes all these things crash. And I think that'd be fucking sick, dude. An exciting theater watch. Yeah, it would be like Drive, but doesn't get shitty. It'd be like the beginning of Drive, and then they make the rest of the movie like that. Okay? What's the plot? The plot is the movie is exactly 90 minutes long, and they steal cars for 90 minutes. And at the end of it, they go, wow, that was a good heist. And it's badass. Everyone is being happy. And they're like, that was cool. How many explosions? Maybe a couple. I think this bangs on Netflix. You're telling me you're sitting on your couch, you got your phone out, and you need a movie in the background to kind of have on while you're distracting your brain. And you're not putting on Future Heist? You're not clicking on Future Heist? Get ludicrous? You guys are just recreating Fast and the Furious. It's not Fast and the Furious. This movie would have the wrestler. Dave Bautista? That's a good pick. Dave Bautista and Jack Black. No, not Jack Black. It needs like Tony Hawk. It would have Mr. Wonderful. Mr. Wonderful would play one of the bankers that gets robbed. He would be like, can't wait to drive my brand new 2049 Mercedes. And then he walks out, and then the heister are like already pulling away with it, and they're like, deuces, Mr. Wonderful, out the window, and he shakes his fist. Oh my God, dude, Mr. Wonderful, he's set up his fucking brand new deluxe supercar to only unlock when he touches his fucking luxury watch to the handle. The watch is the only way to unlock it. And he goes to unlock his car, and it's like, and it's not unlocking. He looks at his fucking watch. It's a fake. They replaced it. It's got like a Mickey Mouse on the handle, or on the fucking dials. And it's like, oops. And he's fucking shocked, and he's furious. And he runs back inside to find the guards, and then that's when our star, and I need a star, I need like a young Clooney. I need a young Gosling. I need Barack Obama. That's when Barack Obama, in his Hollywood career debut, steps out of the shadows, and he's wearing Mr. Wonderful's watch. He swipes it, gets in. Put the pedal to the metal, Batista. Batista plays himself, by the way. Dave Bautista plays himself as an actor turned car thief. And then they fucking drive out of there. Peel out. And then Bautista rolls down the window, throws a cigarette out, hits a fucking line of gas that explodes Mr. Wonderful's mansion, looks back at Obama, says, nice tan suit. Bubba adjusts his tan suit, and they drive off into the fucking sunset. It's actually cinema. It's actually cinema. It's actually chills. This would actually make a lot of money. The Fast and the Futurious. Name needs work, but we're getting there.
They only use one of these three technologies, cameras.
You can absolutely be superhuman with just cameras.
They call it Tesla vision or computer vision.
The best that computer vision can do is 97%.
This is exactly what we talked about on Lemonade Stand 4 months ago or something. I like all of this, every detail of it.
3 out of 100 situations that they're confronted with, they get wrong.
If 3 out of 100 flights ended in a crash, no one would fly.
Yeah.
You cannot fix this with computer vision, at least not in today's technology, and I don't think in my lifetime.
Which brings us back to the obvious question. Why is Tesla going this route?
It's
I
cheaper.
think for them it makes financial sense. All the other sensors are quite expensive.
Those extra sensors, they cost tens of thousands of dollars.
I mean, you might say this, but they're way cheaper now. That is the real problem. It's not that Tesla found a way to do it massively cheaper and it's a little riskier. It's a lot riskier and not much cheaper because the more it's been used, the more the cost has gone way down.
And when more than half of your company's value depends on selling autonomous vehicles for under 30K,
this is really a money situation.
This created a war inside the company between engineers trying to build safe systems and Musk pushing for marketable features. Here's how far Musk was willing to go.
X.com.
Let's unpack a scary good Halloween. I would recognize this costume anywhere because this is one of my most iconic looks. Gonna take this one for a spin later on. See, it's not hard to be Kris Jenner.
Gusto is the best choice for small business payroll. It's fast. It's trusted. It's a great value. And when it comes to running your business, it's the easiest choice you can make. Get started for free at gusto.com.
The greatest website on the internet.
In 2016, Musk shared this promo video titled Full Self-Driving Hardware on All Teslas. The car is driving itself. Problem is, the video was fake. Here's how we found out.
What?
A man died crashing into a highway wall while using autopilot. During the ensuing trial, Tesla's own autopilot director was forced to testify. Under oath, he admitted their famous demo video was staged.
Oh,
the route
shit.
predetermined and mapped prior to filming. In fact, the car crashed into a fence during initial testing.
That's actually kind of spooky to know because at NVIDIA, they had tests like this, non-LiDAR, camera-based car tests. It wasn't for Tesla, but it was for some NVIDIA self-driving thing. And they would be always zooming around the parking lots and stuff. One of them probably was about to slam into me, bro. I remember this like in 2017, 18. They would just drive all around.
This wasn't a one-time incident. When naming the system, engineers wanted Copilot. Musk demanded Autopilot. Engineers warned against removing radar from the technology. Musk ripped it out anyway. People resigned. And the impact was almost immediate.
So this is the classic phantom braking it.
Dude, it is funny that so many stories of Tesla engineering are like, the engineers were actually incredible. They knew exactly what to do. And he single-handedly made this single choice. It's not like they all voted on it. It's not like he's like, I think personally this has to be autopilot and we have to get rid of radar. That's crazy.
Shadows, overpasses, anything can fool the camera, causing the car to stop.
It's a problem for all computer vision systems. That's why you have multiple sensors.
The Washington Post analyzed the data. In the 22 months before dropping radar, there were 34 official reports of phantom braking. In the 3 months after Tesla started to phase out radar, reports jumped to over 100.
Jesus.
In December of 2022, California regulators decided to act.
The DMV claims the words autopilot and full self-driving are misleading.
The state sued Tesla for deceptive advertising. If Tesla loses, they owe customers millions and get banned from the state for a month.
The downside risk for Tesla is significant here. Losing here would be really bad for them.
This is Eric Goldman, a law professor who specializes in
I didn't know this part. This is an interesting part of the video.
It has always boggled my mind how Tesla keeps reiterating its central claim that drivers can treat their cars as autonomous. If in fact that's not true.
Autopilot is a terrible name. Full self-driving is, on its surface, just false advertising, in my mind.
Tesla's defense? This is marketing, protected speech. We never said our cars are autonomous. Look at our disclaimers. They even rebranded to full self-driving, supervised. In the past, this defense worked. For years, Tesla
isn't the fact they rebranded proof that they realized what a terrible name the first one is? Hey, by the way, I'm instituting a new program. It's called the Free Money for Subs program. Every subscriber who subscribes to me will be getting free money. There is some T's and C's, but who gives a shit? Think of the title. It's the Free Money program, and you are going to be eligible for free money. So I caught it. Thank you for the 6 months. Welcome to the FMP Free Money program. Just Mark. I tell you like free money. Asterisk. This is how Elon got the stock price up. This is how Elon got the stock price up, bro. It works in real time. Okay, I'm sorry. I do have to do a slight update. Peter Lupp, thank you for the gift and welcome to the Free Money program. However, slight update. We are changing the Free Money program's name. It is now the Free Money program reverse. It's the Free Money program reverse in parentheses, and it implies that the money is really free in sort of a reverse funnel situation to the streamer. But it's still the FMP that you know and love. It's still the Free Money program. Solo, see, I'm getting more primes afterwards.
have faced lawsuits from investors, customers, and victims around the company's self-driving claims. Those cases were dismissed or settled. But that's changing. In August, one finally broke through. And then there's Florida.
A Miami jury has found Elon Musk's car company Tesla was partly responsible for a deadly crash in Florida involving its autopilot driver assist technology.
Okay.
The company must pay the victims more than $240 million in damages.
The judge wrote that a reasonable jury could find that Tesla showed reckless disregard of human life for the sake of developing their product and maximizing profit.
Are you going to tell me that's a crime now? What is this country coming to if you can't have reckless disregard for human life for the sake of developing your product and maximizing profit? This is woke. Huh, I guess they never made a mistake in their life. A funny thing to say to a judge when you get sentenced for a crime. Huh, interesting. Interesting, Your Honor. I guess you never made a mistake in your life. Well, that's it. I didn't know this whole jury had never made a mistake before. Ah, that's so interesting. You learn something every day. Well, I didn't know it was a crime to not be perfect, Your Honor.
But the case in Florida might be a blip compared to California.
They really, really don't want anyone to conclude as a matter of law that Tesla has lied about the fact that these vehicles can operate autonomously.
This case has been dragging through the courts for a few years. A decision is finally expected in October. But here's the problem for Tesla. Even if Tesla wins, other states can still file their own lawsuits. All they win is the status quo. But if Tesla loses, they could be banned from their biggest state market. And it becomes a legal fact that their autonomous vehicles aren't real.
They're going to get walloped with a whole bunch of more legal actions, likely by both governments and by private plaintiffs bringing class action lawsuits. It seems like they would be writing very, very large checks to a lot of different people for having misled them.
You got here first. You did it.
No, she's right there.
Good morning, guys.
We wake up, good morning, it's a brand new day. Blue skies above, it's a perfect day.
Why do EVs cost less to own over the long run? Well, you never have to buy gas again. And there are fewer parts and fewer repairs. All long-term relationships should be this good.
Was that the end? Oh, wow. It almost makes you wish that I had been seriously injured in a Tesla accident so I could sue them. RIP your 401k if Tesla goes down. I agree it would be bad for people's 401ks in general. Are you under the impression that I have a 401k in Tesla? Have you ever seen my content ever? Are you under the impression that I have allocated my money to half gold, half Tesla, half AI? 100% foolproof. Jimmy Spy? He does, but I don't have that either. You do half Tesla, half Doge. You're sort of right. I changed it to 70% Doge, 30% Tesla. Not because I don't believe in Elon Musk's great mission to get us to Mars. I just think Doge is like closer to helping humanity. It's more important in the now. I'm all in on railroads. They're the lifeblood of this nation. You sound like Stans, dude. All of Stans' money is in waste management, the trash pickup company. And he's like, trash is the lifeblood of this nation. America runs on trash. They're always gonna be trash. There always has been trash. Someone's gotta pick it up. It's a powerful statement. He's not really wrong. Dude, I remember when I was visiting Italy. And I had just, I don't know, it was ice cream or a bag of chips or something. I had trash in my hands. I had eaten something and I had trash. And I was going to throw it away. And a person there told me, don't throw it away. You can't throw away your trash because the mafia is doing a strike on trash pickup. I was not allowed to throw away the trash. Because the mafia controlled the trash services, and so they were doing like, it was crazy. It was wild. I mean, I was like, all right, fine, I'll put it in my bag. Just the union. Yeah, it was just the union. He didn't say the word mafia, I don't think. He was just like, the mafia, like the Kai Cenat Mafia-thon. Yeah, he said, Kai told me. This is in Italy 10 years ago, but he's like, Kai Cenat told me that you can't toss the trash away because he's trying to fucking put pressure on the city government. Can you eat that soup any louder, bro? Do you guys want me to do one big slurp for the fans? Because I can't. I definitely can. I could slurp it way fucking louder. So mute up. All right. I hope you enjoy that. Enough slurping, okay?
Now I'm angry.
Donald Trump, very frustrated that his man Andrew Cuomo is not catching fire as an independent candidate in the general election. Cuomo, I'm sure, becoming increasingly bitter at the Ackmans and the others in the world who insisted that he pursue this humiliating general election race. But Trump doing everything he can to come to his defense. Let's roll a little bit of our good president here.
But he's going to explain there might be some dark, deep psychological reason where they want to vote the opposite way. I don't know what it is, but we have to win the midterms. Otherwise, all of the things that we've done, so many of them are going to be taken away by the radical left lunatics. I mean, we're going to end up with a communist mayor in New York. Can you believe it? A communist. Remember, I would always say, we will not have a socialist elected in our country. Remember, I'd say that all the time. And I was right. We skipped socialists. We got a communist elected. So I didn't tell a lie. I didn't tell a lie. I was right. We'll have a communist, not a socialist.
Okay. Anyway, so he also accused Mamdani of posing, quote, posing with a terrorist. This echoing what the New York Post and RNC has said. That this is because he appeared with an imam in New York City, Siraj Wahaj, who the right has been calling a, quote, unindicted co-conspirator of the 93 World Trade Center bombing.
Technically not true, right?
Right, which, yeah, not true.
Fox News had to issue a correction on its story about that.
I see that the RNC has not corrected its hit here, so hopefully he sends them a little letter, because, like, you can't do that. And I've seen, like, the Laura Loomer types say that you know, this is somebody that the NYPD considered to be a threat and had under surveillance. It's like, bro, the NYPD had every mosque in the city under surveillance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the fact that the NYPD considers somebody to be suspicious who was Muslim in New York City does not mean that there was actually anything remotely wrong with them.
He was a character witness for the Blind Sheik, though, right?
Because he was like he was in the whatever.
He had been organizing like New York City.
Yeah, and he's said things about, you know, women's rights and stuff.
Gay rights, yeah.
That people would generally agree with. He's also has a huge base of support in New York City, and that's why Eric Adams and Bill de Blasio, you know, appeared with him, went to him because they want to get his supporters to vote for them.
He's like
and
a pillar of the community.
Yeah, and it was never controversial until, you know, Mamdani showed up. Although I'm sure they tried to do something with de Blasio.
Yeah. If you go
Eric
back
Adams, I'm sure he got a pass.
If you go back and look, he's been controversial, but and I maintain that if a conservative was out there with someone who had said the things about gay people and women, that he said it would have been a much bigger story. All that is to say,
Who was it that Trump had as his like preacher? Like not his preacher, but like the guy at his inauguration.
His inauguration.
Yeah, it was Pagey or whatever his name, John Pagey or whatever.
Oh,
like,
Hagee?
Hagee. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hagee said crazy stuff, obviously.
Yes.
About, but what? Like
that's like the guy doing the inaugural.
Trump. I mean, I don't remember whether it was Hagee, but that would obviously. Trump is a slightly different story because he talks to everybody. He talks to Alex Jones. He talks to like.
Right,
but if it were Ted Cruz.
So who's Trump to blame Mamdani for?
No, I no disagreement from me on that. No disagreement from me on that whatsoever. But again, I think it's true that this is very obviously much more of a controversy when Mamdani does it. And the coverage of the Mamdani stuff has been just the fact that Fox News had to issue a correction for calling him an unindicted co-conspirator tells you what you need to know about the standard for Mamdani going to see him. Now, Andrew Cuomo went on Impulsive, spelled P-A-U-L. Impulsive.
Everybody loves to do a name play. And I never did Grim News, so
that was a really brave decision.
You know how hard that was? I mean, I did.
Difficult. Here's a little flavor of Cuomo on Impulsive with Logan Paul.
I want to know, have you made this mistake with your holster? And by mistake, I mean, did you get a holster that's uncomfortable so you don't carry all the time? You may have. And even if you hadn't, you probably want a holster that's more comfortable. Enter the Vanish holster, the world's most comfortable holster. And guess
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you, thank you.
Why would you want to be the mayor of New York?
We are at a point where we have to make progress. Mamdani is a socialist, the child of wealth, never had to work, never managed anyone. If Mamdani is elected mayor, Trump will take over New York.
So why is Mamdani currently leading the polls?
He has appealed with very simplistic solutions that would never work. Fast, free buses. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Everyone wants a fast bus. What do you want, a slow bus?
Okay, Ryan, that's acts of desperation to me. And of course, he probably is openly desperate at this point. We've seen him down in just about every poll. Not looking good for Andrew Cuomo when you're going on Impulsive to laugh about kicking your brother's ass.
I mean, Democrats should, reach out, go on these different, independents, because Cuomo tried to be a Democrat, and Democrats thoroughly rejected him. So he's independent on there. But yeah, he looks like somebody who wants this election to be over. Annoyed at the fact that he has to compete for it. Frustrated at the public for not allowing him to have this easy re-entry into public life. And I guess just contemplating what kind of big money organization he's gonna fall back on after his inevitable defeat upcoming election, because and he keeps thinking that, and Bill Ackman keeps thinking that if Curtis Sliwa, the Republican nominee, will drop out, that would be the ticket for Cuomo. But it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you are currently supporting Sliwa, you either want some outsider who's says wacky fun stuff all the time, which is not Cuomo, or you are a very partisan Republican and you live in New York City and you hate Cuomo more than you hate Mamdani at this point. Like, Cuomo has been, the Republicans in New York hate Cuomo.
Yeah.
So on what planet, if Sliwa dropped out, the lead that Zoran Mamdani has over Cuomo, I think, would actually expand. It's this weird idea that everyone would just rush to support Cuomo if only Sliwa wasn't there. It's just completely absurd.
So John Hagee, by the way, did the benediction when Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem, is what it looks like right now.
And Hagee's one of these millennial
he's bananas.
Apocalyptic, we need all of the Jews in Israel to burn so that we can bring about the apocalypse and whatever.
He said the Antichrist will be Jewish and half Jewish and gay. He said all kinds of stuff that I think he said.
Yeah, so we don't have to wonder what would happen if Trump appeared with somebody
Well, Trump,
views
right.
like that.
Right, and I have looked it up. He has appeared with Ted Cruz, to my point, to undermine my point. But yeah, but I mean, like, I'll say this, like, if
he has a following, right?
He has a following, and any conservatives who are acting like this is that it's utterly disqualifying for Mamdani to meet with a community leader, whether or not you like that community leader, everyone does that. My point is just, I think it would be a huge media circus, but that was beside the point of what we were talking about. I genuinely think it would be a huge media circus, like the Hagee stuff was at the time. So anyway, don't need to get into that anymore. We could do a full segment on that. Let's take a look at this mashup from Bill Maher's show last week when Andrew Ross Sorkin went on and said, we have a financial literacy problem in America.
But the financial literacy problem in America is affecting the politics in America, which is that if you don't understand that if you actually decide that you think rent stabilization is going to somehow increase the supply of apartments and homes in the country, you've got it completely backwards. Because what happens is the developers say, well, if they're going to stabilize the rent in this town, we don't really want to be developing in this town, in which case there's not going to be enough supply, in which case it's going to cost more to rent your apartment. That's just the way it is. And unless people understand that, when a politician stands up and says, excuse me, I'm over here and I'm very happy to give you rent stabilization and the free groceries and this and that, and then it doesn't happen, I think people are going to be in for a surprise.
I mean, a couple things. Disturbed by the global, globalized, what did you say that just made me crazy over the weekend? Did you see what he said? Globalized. He didn't say globalized infidel.
Yeah.
Infidel, but he did say that he wouldn't condemn it.
That clip is so painful. Globalize the what? Globalize the. Oh, he didn't say it, but he said he wouldn't condemn it.
I will say that he's one of the harder working guys in media. Like, he's doing a column for the Times.
I feel bad for him. Yeah.
He's doing that show every day.
Yeah.
He's probably meeting with bankers late at night to
That, I feel bad for him because of that. He's going to talk
also
to his
that.
bankers.
So the guy's probably running on fumes. So I sympathize with people stumbling over their words. So. Last house over.
We have tried to get him on to talk about his new book.
Didn't he come on with Crystal Saga?
I don't think he did, but I was listening to it this weekend. It's quite interesting.
Okay, and so while I will sympathize with the stumbling over the words, what I won't sympathize with is lecturing people about not knowing how things work and then objectively not knowing how things work. Because he's talking about freeze the rent, and he's saying that will disincentivize developers from building new projects. Except the freeze the rent program that Mamdani is talking about would apply to particular buildings that are already in the rent stabilization system or whatever. That would not necessarily apply to all new developments. And the New York City housing law is extremely complicated. There's rent controlled, there's rent stabilized, there's lots of other things. But to say that it would just blanket apply to all rent is just false. And he lives in, at least he works in New York. I don't know where he lives. So he should know that. So, and it's fine to get that wrong, but he shouldn't get that wrong while you're also criticizing kids for not having financial literacy.
Well, I also think the question of where's the financial literacy among those who are overseeing the status quo? Like, if you're missing that part of it and you're criticizing the people criticizing the status quo, while arguably, I mean, I don't want to accuse them of defending the status quo in New York, but if you're just picking on the, quote, financial illiteracy of people who are now asking for rent stabilization, which I obviously disagree with, but there's a huge degree of financial illiteracy among the people who are overseeing the status quo. And if you're just attacking the people against the status quo, never, asking or condescending to the people who are overseeing the status quo, then your priorities are wrong.
And then you wanted to talk about this AI slop that Cuomo's been serving up to people. And if you're angry about your electricity bill every month, you should be a little bit frustrated that Cuomo is using the juice to create, let's roll this utterly disturbing, bizarre AI ad.
Hello, it's me, de Blasio. New York City's least favorite mayor. Today, I want to introduce you to my mini-me Mamdani.
Hi,
Hiya! If you thought my policies were evil, you're gonna frickin' hate this. Sure will, boss! In 2020, I cut $1 billion from the NYPD, which dramatically spiked crime. But I wanted to fund the police entirely! So evil, so unsafe.
What are we supposed to do with that?
This is profoundly embarrassing. I don't know who's laughing at that.
I mean,
well, who's the market for that?
you could laugh at it.
You could laugh at it. You can't laugh with it.
It's a little too pathetic to laugh at, almost.
You can't
but
laugh
I can
with it.
imagine some people, like, if you were stoned,
Yeah, that's not what he's going for, though.
then. But you'd be so confused because in order to laugh at it, you have to have some sense of what on earth it's trying to do. And then if it doesn't do it, the subversion of that is very funny. But I keep like, what? Come on, guy. What are you doing?
It's brutal, but it's the desperation. And again,
Trump, this is your king. This is who Trump wants to be the mayor of New York City.
oh, I don't think any part of Trump wants him to be the mayor of New York City. He just wants him a little bit more than he wants Mamdani to be the mayor of New York City.
Why is Trump not riding for Sliwa?
It's a great question.
Like, he has just as much chance as Cuomo and way more Riz.
Way more Riz. Well, the AI stuff and the Logan Paul stuff, like Logan Paul, like he's got a huge audience. Does he have a huge audience of people who are going to vote in the New York City mayoral election based on an interview that Logan Paul? Probably not. But he's like Cuomo is down double digits to a 32-year-old Democratic socialist, and just within the last 2 weeks before the election, he decides to get this desperate. That's how bad. I mean, his whole campaign has been really bad. It's escalating in its awfulness.
It really
remarkably.
Is. It really is. You wouldn't think it could have gotten worse.
And here we are. Here we are. Now.
Can't wait for his kind of post-election analysis of what he did wrong in the general.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
And my favorite part is that he now is going around saying, why is everybody talking so much about Israel? This is a New York City mayoral election.
Incredible.
Like, you made the whole thing about Israel.
But he could have used that tactic in the primary when Mamdani was saying...
I'm going to arrest Netanyahu or whatever. Yeah, like, why?
No, but when Mamdani was saying, hey...
Feeling haunted by a high price tag? Don't be a scaredy cat, Rob. This October, we have deals that are absolutely mind-boggling. They're so good, they're unbelievable.
Drive a brand new 2025 Kia today. Sorrento with 0% APR with 0 down and 500.
Mamdani was praised for his excellent answer to that question in the debate, where he said, I'm not going to Israel. I'm staying in I'm the mayor of New York. And Cuomo then decides to get back in the race on a bold platform of learning literally nothing from getting his ass handed to him by a 32-year-old Democratic socialist in the primary, and has continued to talk about Israel as though it's the only way he could possibly win the New York City mayoral race. So let's put this last element on the screen for this block. He was at a town hall on the Upper West Side Monday night with Alicia Wiesel, who is, I believe, the daughter, I'm sorry, the son of Elie Wiesel, so obviously the famous author, Holocaust survivor. And the quote from Alicia Wiesel was, what would our fathers think that we have to be here tonight in this moment that they spent their entire lives working to make sure never happened again, Ryan?
Yeah, he'd like to campaign with Elie Wiesel's son, while at the close of the race, while at the same time complaining that it's all too much about Israel, is not well thought out as a campaign, strategy. By the way, everybody's read Night, which is tremendous work of literature. He also wrote Dawn. You read that one?
I think we had to read it in school.
It's crazy. It's like his character and a British soldier, and his job is to execute the British soldier at dawn, because they were killing a lot of British soldiers at the time. And it's just him having a conversation with the guy that he has to kill in the morning. It's really interesting, disturbing book. But yeah, so I don't know what's Cuomo doing here?
A final thought on this, and maybe you can explain it to me, but the right, and it's not even just the right, it's people like Andrew Cuomo, who want at the same time to look at Mamdani as a radical left culture warrior, and Cuomo isn't on the sort of, well, he's not on that as much as some people on the right are, but saying this guy is queer liberation means defund the police. That's my favorite Mamdani tweet, obviously, but you can't have that and then say he's an Islamist at the same time. Like, that's insane. It's like
You can, because nothing is required to make any sense.
but like that is the narrative on the right now about Mamdani, is that his
Queer Sharia law.
Queer Sharia law. He's a political Islamist.
Sharia law.
I've heard people try to square that circle before, but like it's the same thing with Ilhan Omar.
Or is it Shaquaria law?
That's something different. But it makes like is that landing with anybody? Because it really it's on its face. The common sense question to that is like, you're telling me he's extremely pro-gay, and that he now met with this imam who has said, you know, don't go out with sticks and look for homosexuals, but make them feel uncomfortable. You're saying that Mamdani endorses that secretly, that he's fooling us into he's actually like a full Sharia in Manhattan type person.
To Trump's credit, he really just sticks with the communist thing. Like his friend Laura Loomer just goes 100% on the Muslim, whereas Trump, I think, recognizes that that's absurd, and he goes just hard on he's a commie.
Yes, I guess that is Trump's credit.
Yeah,
we'll give him that one.
Speaking of commies,
yeah.
We're going to talk about the latest controversy with Maine Senate candidate Graham Plattner. We'll be joined by Representative Ro Khanna. Stick around for that.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show, ad-free, and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.
We're outside the ICE facility. 3 years ago now, I made a couple videos talking about a YouTuber whose house had been firebombed. The YouTuber's name is Friendly Jordies, and he was very outspoken about corruption, calling out bad actors in the local government, and for all of this, his house was targeted in a firebombing. And actually, the fucking stooge that was in charge of this, the mysterious boogeyman, actually went for the double scoop on the firebombing. So they started by firebombing Friendly Jordy's neighbor, thinking that it was his house. Then when they realized they got the wrong house, he came back to firebomb Friendly Jordy's house. And luckily, no one died in this, but the intention was pretty clear, either to scare or kill Friendly Jordy's. And now, almost 3 years later, there is someone who has been arrested for this.
Some not-so-breaking news. One of the guys that firebombed my house back in 2022 has been sentenced to 5 years in prison. Now, I'm grateful to the judge, the arson squad, and the financial crimes unit for all their hard work in securing this little bit of justice. That was a Herculean slog for the investigators to get it to that point at all, but this is hardly a definite end to this saga, and there are a few things that really need to be said in wake of this conviction.
The man who was arrested and now facing 5 years in the slammer is an associate of a well-known crime family in the area. His name is Tuffy, or Toofy, Goofy, whatever the fuck it is, however you say his name. He's 39 years old, and they're describing it as a professional attack on a journalist. But don't worry, he's not a monster. He has a lot of remorse here. He feels really bad about it. He even made an apology video for it. So he is clearly feeling a lot of sorrow for his misdeeds, no doubt. In a video he sent from prison, he said, "I would just like to apologize from the bottom of my heart."
How does Freshpet make healthy food for dogs? The same way you make healthy food for people. Start here.
On farms like mine.
Plant the seeds, tend to the soil, feed the animals. Harvest fresh.
Aww. Alright. Not guilty. Free this man. He clearly feels bad about firebombing 2 people's homes. He's no longer a threat. He's seen the error of his ways. That is a touching sentiment. He went on to say that he believed in God and said he was over his life of crime after spending so much of his 20s and 30s behind bars. Quote, "I'd rather die than return back to jail," he said. He's turning a new leaf, you can clearly see it here. I mean, it's just an honest mistake. Who hasn't accidentally firebombed 2 people's homes after being paid to throw those firebombs in the first place? It could happen to anybody. And this is a guy who clearly recognizes that these evil deeds are best left in the past. And it's crazy that he's only getting 5 years, by the way. He is a career criminal, and he's still getting 5 years after firebombing 2 people's homes, which is literally like attempted murder. At least it should be. That was the whole goal. At least one of the goals, either to have Friendly Jordy's fear for his life or take his life here in the firebombing attack. It's just crazy that he's only getting 5 years. Maybe that apology really did weigh heavy on the heart of the judge.
The person convicted of the firebombing is a man by the name of Tufi Jr. Tuisi Alua. I don't know if I'm saying that name correctly, and frankly, I don't care. I've never met Tufi Jr. I've never mentioned him in videos before. In fact, before he was charged, I'd never even heard of his name, nor do I hope to hear it ever again. It does, however, open a big question, a question which was not satisfactorily answered in court, and perhaps even more shamefully, not examined by most of the media. Why would a man with no connection to me whatsoever go to the effort of stealing a Mercedes, cloning number plates, surveilling my house, and then setting that house on fire?
As Friendly Jordy's points out here, it's very interesting that the judge recognizes this as a professional attack, a coordinated attack here on Friendly Jordy's. They even call him the Muscle. That's what he was hired to do. Yet, at no point do they try and inquire as to who hired him and why. What were his motives? Why would someone whom Jordy has never heard of, never mentioned at all, go through so much effort to firebomb his fucking house? That's awfully strange, right? Isn't that a little weird? They fully recognize that this was a paid, planned attack on Friendly Jordy's, yet don't bother to try and uncover who planned and paid for this attack. It wasn't just some random act of violence where this guy just had 2 firebombs sitting on his passenger seat from, last Halloween where he won his, the pyro from TF2 or something, and he decided, all right, I'll just throw these 2 firebombs over here. This was clearly a planned attack, and they recognize that, yet don't even give the slightest smidgen of effort to try and figure out who's behind it. That definitely smells a bit fishy.
I think I know the answer. I'd wager some prominent defamation lawyers, property developers, and politicians also know the answer. There were some unsurprisingly cowardly and oblique hints of an answer in the ABC article about the conviction, an article which refers to me as an internet personality. Mr. Shanks, who uses the moniker Friendly Jordy's online, had mentioned the Alameddine crime network in a video 2 months before his home was set alight. Just mention the Alameddines. A lot of people mention the Alameddines, Anton. The Alameddine crime network might be one of the most prolific gangs in this nation's history. They're nightly news. Some people bank their entire journalistic careers on talking about the Alameddines. They don't get their houses burnt down. How characteristically low from the ABC, especially when even the judge labelled the firebombing as, quote, a professional attack on a journalist. Anton here acts as if it was a coincidence after reading out a BuzzFeed article on a stream.
I found this fascinating. What Jordy's is mentioning here is that some journalists, like the one he's pointing out, are making the insinuation that because Jordy's has mentioned the Alameddine crime family before, prior to his house being set ablaze, that maybe it's not a coinky-dink. Maybe the two are related. But Jordy's hits him with the counterpoint here. He gets him with the Uno reverse with some very basic logic that the Alameddine crime family is one of the most infamous in the area, talked about daily as a piece of nightly news, where tons of journalists make their whole career solely around reporting on the Alameddine crime family. And yet none of them seem to be getting fucking napalm striked here like Jordy's was. So it's a pretty weak insinuation to make that doesn't pass the smell test. Especially because it's not like that's all Friendly Jordy's talks about is the Alameddine crime family or anything like that.
This is not at all to excuse Tufi Jr. He tried to kill someone. He burnt down a house with no regard for not only the other potential occupants, but neighbours, which were the elderly, and for all he knew, could have been children. Even worse, because his motives are murky and seemingly transactional, he seems to have just been waved away with a, oh, he was just the hired muscle. He tried to kill people. He burnt down a house. Things are a little bit scary in New South Wales if you ask me. At this point, you can order a firebombing, not only not get caught, but the muscle who does get caught gets about the same time as it takes to do a bachelor's degree.
The guy responsible for double-fisting firebombs that could have killed multiple people is getting an extremely light, soft sentence of just 5 years, which is basically just the amount of time between Stranger Things seasons. And not only is he getting a light sentence, but the people that hired him, that they openly are saying that he was the muscle. So they recognize he was the muscle for someone, but the people that he is the muscle for, they're not even bothering to try and investigate and find out the identity of. They're just like, oh yeah, he was the muscle, and that's it. We know that's as far as we're gonna go. It's just so blatant. It's so obvious. This is so, it's so fucked.
Pretty good risk to reward ratio, if you ask me. Over the past few years, I've faced multiple different criminal investigations and charges over what apparently in New South Wales is a far more serious crime, making YouTube videos. I don't think it's hyperbole to say that there were far more investigative and legal resources thrown at botched attempts to punish me than there were at punishing the firebombers.
If you followed Friendly Jordies at all for any length of time, you are probably familiar with the fucking ringer they have put this man through over the years. The justice system over there is trying so hard to bend them over their knee and spank his cheeks red every chance they get for even the slightest things. They will go to extremes for him, all because he posts videos online talking about corruption. Meanwhile, a firebomber who firebombed 2 houses, a career criminal as well, by the way, so he has a history too, gets significantly less resources put into that investigation. It's fucking crazy.
How can a man be charged and sentenced to 5 years in prison for a firebombing and the courts get to know nothing about his motives?
No, they know everything that needs to be known about his motive. He was hired to do it. He was the muscle. Hired by who?
Dutch Boy Professional Series works hard for you with top quality primers, durable interior and exterior paints, and specialty products to help grow your business. Dutch Boy Professional Series paints, available at Menards.
Cares? Who cares? They don't give a fuck. Just gonna send him to jail for just a little brief period of time here and just let this whole thing quietly die down so that way people don't ask too many questions about this whole firebombing, hoopla, that kind of thing. Because there's no need to dig any deeper on who might have paid for this kind of thing to happen. You know, it's